Hello everyone and welcome back to the only series out there that combines the lore of MTG with the physical cards you can win. I'm Simon and this is Friday Night Lore. Welcome back guys, and sorry for the small delay in FNLs, but I was away, which made it very difficult to have content prepared. In any case, we're back and it's Friday, which means it's time for another card and another story. This week, let's continue unraveling the mysteries of Innistrad as the shadows of doom loom ever closer. Previously in SOI, we were given a small glimpse into the ever-increasing madness of the former Angel of Hope, Avacyn, who has since turned on the humans she was created to protect. But now, we find ourselves in a much different environment, different but no less dangerous. We begin with Jace traveling on a cold dark evening, by horseback with a local guide. The air is silent and still, the beating of the hooves can be heard without interruption. This world is cold, especially to Jace, who had spent most of his life in the trifling city plane of Ravnica, and more recently, the muggy wilds of Zendikar. The ride was boring, but the destination should prove to be at least entertaining, if not deadly. Jace attempted to strike some conversation with his guide, an elderly man who seemed to enjoy silence more than the walking corpses that shuffled across Innistrad. Reading his mind provided nothing of worth, but the same could be said about the numerous other thoughts he infiltrated since he arrived looking for answers. At least one proved useful, setting him on his current destination, a gloomy manor housing a single woman, Liliana Vess. Jace and Liliana have had quite the history together, ups and downs like all potential couples, with a few added betrayals and near murders for good measure. His opinion of her was complex to say the least, but even his tales of lost love and rocky relationships seemed to bore his guide. No matter, Jace would wipe his memory of all this anyway. He talked about their last encounter between him and Liliana. She had come to him on Ravnica seeking help. Liliana wasn't the one to ask for assistance, so whatever she was up against was something truly monumental. It all had to do with her connection to the Chained Veil, an artifact of great magical power and an ancient curse. But regardless of the trouble she was in, Jace had already promised to assist Gideon on Zendikar, dealing with the Eldrazi he was somewhat responsible for releasing. Liliana parted ways with Jace, even after being invited to Zendikar to lend a hand. She had her own problems, and Jace wasn't going to help. A part of Jace wanted to be rid of Liliana's influence for good. Maybe she would throw him out and tell him to never speak to her again. That would, in some ways, be a good outcome. But no, this time, Jace Balleron needed Liliana's help. As the horses pulled, seemingly slower than ever, the moon hung heavy in the night sky. Out of nowhere, Jace's guide made one of the first sounds all evening, an angry grunt caused by pain. The Mind Mage looked over as the elderly driver hunched and trembled. The transformation happened in mere moments, and before him stood a werewolf covered in silver light fur. Jace quickly mounted one of the horses and rode off. The manor was close, he could make it on his own. As the beast that had previously been his guide howled at the dark sky, he heard it sink its teeth into the horse left behind. Jace had heard of werewolves before, but hoped he never had to face one. Unfortunately, Innistrad would provide a lot of firsts for the planeswalker. The howl of the beast summoned more to echo in from the forest. A pack, just his luck. They erupted out of seemingly nowhere, and suddenly he had 4 hungry monsters on his tail. Jace peered into their minds. It was like nothing he had ever seen before. They were definitely primal animals, but they also had this deep seeding of human thought. It was as if they were the perfect split of man and beast. In defense, the Mind Mage sent an illusion of himself tumbling behind from the horse. It rose up in a fighting position. It was meant to provide a distraction. Jace looked back to see the pack run past his illusion without even hesitating. That could have went better. He neglected to factor in scent. Of course they didn't hunt from sight alone. Fine. If they couldn't be distracted by an illusion, let them fight one instead. Using his magic, he conjured a giant ethereal bear to block their path. The werewolves ran at it without fear, smelling it was nothing more than another hollow trick. Yet, it wasn't a trick. Jace put substance behind this mirrored image, and with a swipe of his glowing blue paw, the bear threw one of the beasts off the road. One down, but still 3 grew ever closer, their hot breath misting over his mount's legs. They were cursed, but still something in them was human, something he could influence. He peered into the mind of one of the werewolves and found a tapestry of anger and rage, but was able to pinpoint which was the alpha. Tapping into that animalistic fury, Jace commanded the beast to attack its alpha. Having only control for a single attack, it was enough to start a power struggle between the two, leaving Jace with only one pursuer left. The werewolf was too close to send an illusion. The outcome was inevitable. The beast tore into his mount's legs, causing it to tumble and throw Jace from its back. The werewolf sunk its jaws into the horse's neck and peered back at Jace, sensing another hunt. He lifted himself up and ran to the manor's gate, which was now only a few yards away. He reached the sturdy iron bars, but it was locked. How inconvenient. With the werewolf now charging towards him, Jace had only seconds to unlock the gothic security. Locks were never his specialty. They demanded too much fine control. But as he concentrated, he felt his telepathic fingers hit the tumblers, opening the gate, and just in time. He closed the bars behind him just as the werewolf arrived, a close call by anyone's standards. Yet, on Innistrad, it seems you always elude one threat while entering the arms of another. As the werewolf skulked outside the gates, empty minds collected around him. These were the cold, lost thoughts of the walking undead, an area of Liliana's expertise. Yep, this had to be the place. They crowded around him, no sounds, no warnings. Just before they reached the Mage, they backed off, making a clear path to the doorway. It looks like Lily would at least see him before killing him. Just through the doors and down a walkway, there she sat, on a throne of her own making, Liliana Vess, surrounded by zombies. They traded greetings, Jace mentioning that she had some very bothersome neighbors. Liliana assured him that on Innistrad, is a lot worse than werewolves. Vampires? Questioned Jace. No, angels, she half-jokingly replied. Jace was unaware of the current situation of the angels on Innistrad, and just assumed Lily despised them for their righteousness. Jace began to state why he was there. He wanted to apologize for leaving unfinished business between them on Ravnica. Lily corrected him. You mean abandoning me for some wilds of a far-off plane and a hawking brute, this Gideon fellow. She asked if he regretted going with him. Jace told her about their victory over the ancient Eldrazi, their saving of an entire plane. Liliana didn't seem to care very much. He also told her about their pact, the formation of the Gatewatch, and how they plan to protect the greater multiverse. Again, Lily appeared bored. They both agreed that there was no way Lily would ever join this Gatewatch. Both her and Jace were aware that she wouldn't go for such a thing. But perhaps Jace could help her out anyway. She still had a problem, maybe he could at least watch her back. Liliana stepped in before he could utter another word. All this was a lie. He wasn't here to help her or to even apologize. Not really anyway. After all their past encounters, everything they've been through, if Jace was here, now, it was because he needed something from her. With all the bull out of the way, Jace asked his question. Where is Soren Markov? Even someone as old and powerful as Liliana Vess was taken aback by this question. Does Jace even know what he's getting himself into? Jace knew only minor things. Soren's a vampire, the so-called Lord of Innistrad, and he's untrustworthy. But right now, he was either in trouble or causing it. Either way, he needed to be found. Liliana scoffed. Jace was so simple-minded and didn't comprehend exactly what he was asking. Soren isn't just an ancient planeswalker. He's more powerful than anything Liliana had ever seen, and just as ruthless. But still, the question begged to be asked. Why does he need to find Soren in the first place? Jace explained the history of Zendikar and the Eldrazi, how Soren and his allies originally sealed the monsters away, and agreed to help should they ever get out. Soren never showed. Since the entire escape was orchestrated by Nicol Bolas, Jace fears the evil dragon planeswalker may be using Soren as some part of his plan. Thus, he must be found. Regardless, Liliana again stated that Soren was just too powerful and uncaring to approach like this. She should know. She met him once before. She was bested by Soren on that day, but was allowed to stay on Innistrad, provided she stayed out of the vampiric planeswalker's way. Liliana is sure that if Jace meets Soren, he will kill him. Jace asks for her assistance then. Set up a meeting. This wouldn't do either. He would simply kill them both. Jace wasn't taking no for an answer though. He was gonna do this with or without her. If Liliana wasn't gonna cooperate, then he would just have to follow his own lead. Visit Markov Manor. Liliana again mocked how little Jace knew about Innistrad. Markov Manor would provide him with nothing, for Soren hasn't been there in a very long time. Yes, it's his ancestral home and bloodline, but he's been banished from it. After his creation of the angel Avacyn, the other vampires saw him as a traitor and removed him from his home. If Jace went there asking for Soren, he would be killed. Again, this simply went in through one of Jace's ears and out the other. He was gonna do this with or without her. Yet, as he tried to leave for Markov Manor, Liliana stood up and her eyes began glowing a bright purple. Her zombified minions began converging on Jace, crowding him and grabbing at the Mind Mage with their cold hands. His magic was useless against the undead. He was at Liliana's mercy, a mercy she gave him. She wanted to prove a point. Jace wasn't ready to face the dangers of Innistrad, let alone march into Soren's former home. With her point made, Jace was filled with more determination than ever. Liliana wouldn't help him, this was clear. He would go to Markov Manor on his own. But again, before he could leave, Lily interrupted him, this time with more care and less walking corpses. Jace was invited to stay the night. If he wanted to kill himself at Markov Manor, he could at least wait until daylight. This shocked Jace. After that grand display of indifference, she was offering him to stay? Liliana drew close and whispered to the Mind Mage. Indifference doesn't quicken your heartbeat or make your face flush. She pulled away and offered him a guest room in the basement. Well, basement's a stretch, more like a dungeon, but at least he could rest safely. And that, guys, is our first look at Jace on Innistrad. We see why he's come to the Dark World, hoping to find no connection between Soren and Nicobolas, but knowing that the ancient vampire planeswalker is somehow in danger. He doesn't get much help from Liliana Vess, who says she won't join the Gatewatch or provide him with much assistance. So this begs the question, what will Liliana's role be if she won't help Jace or join the Gatewatch? And that's my question to you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As with all my Friday Night Lore videos, it's time to announce the giveaway card of the week. Since I don't have my hands on any SOI cards yet, this week's giveaway will be a copy of Liliana Vess from Lorwyn. To enter for your chance to win this card, all you have to do is be a subscriber to the channel and leave a comment on this video. At the end of next week's FNL, I'll announce the winner of the card. Speaking of winners, I have to announce the winner of, well, the FNL from a few weeks ago. That video covered what we know about the new werewolf planeswalker, Arlen Cord, and I was giving away a playset of Mayor of Averbrook. So the winner of the previous FNL and new owner of these cards is Frankie B. Congrats on winning FNL. Just contact me on the back end of my channel with your mailing address and I'll have the prize sent to you. Well, that's gonna do it for this Friday Night Lore, guys. If you enjoyed the video, consider giving a like and subbing to the channel. It goes a long way in supporting future content. You can also support this channel by becoming a patron on Patreon. Patreon is a crowdfunding service meant to keep content creators in business. By becoming a patron, you not only support the channel, but you also enter yourself to win fat packs and booster boxes every month. Check it out and consider pledging. Remember, you can also find me on other social media outlets. Find links to Patreon and those in the description below. FNL and all my giveaways are brought to you directly by abugames.com. ABU Games is the leading online store for all things MTG and I highly recommend them. In any case, guys, thank you all so much for watching and as always, I'll see you next time.